talk about this two sides of negative mahadasha lord and how they connect or create a link. The same kind of yoga, that is how Parivatan yoga works, but it is a mahadasha scale. Like if in the current time, if someone is running a bad mahadasha and then the upcoming mahadasha is also considered bad, and how this will play out and how the mind of this individual think. Now, in the mahadasha, when a mahadasha is changing, of course, someone will initially feel the first state of that is the feeling, how we feel, how we think, how we see the world, and we feels like there is something is changing. That is the first stage of a new mahadasha is entering, and then later on when we entering a half part of that mahadasha, the circumstances is changing and rapidly changing. People change, people might leave, and certain people might enter your life and stuff like that. Now this thing is the same how a bad current mahadasha and the upcoming mahadasha is also negative. It creates in that feedback loop of negative traits. Now, to judge this thing and how this will play out, each of the planets, of course, brings different agenda, different flavors, and how life unfolds. Now, as an example, if someone is running Saturn's mahadasha and Saturn plays, let's say, debilitated in Aries. Now, when Saturn debilitated in Aries without any Nitya Bhanga yoga, this person will experience a very debilitating conditions because Saturn itself ruled our physical body like bones. Now, this person might and will have a bones issue. He will also deal with self-doubts and how he or she feels about themselves and the way this person think about the world, like like interacting with the world, but it's in more a lens of a debilitating lens. Now, if the upcoming Mahadasha, which is after Saturn, is Mercury, and now let's say Mercury is placed again debilitated in the signs of Pisces, even though these two planets they are not in the same sign, but the connections between bad current Mahadasha and the upcoming Mahadasha, it creates that link of the communications. How the upcoming Mahadasha revealing the energy that it is being conditioned with this person's and how this person think and how this person will see the world. Because Mercury, it's all about what? About our calculative mind, a logical mind. And when it is debilitated, the effects can be felt how we process thoughts. So the thoughts can be suffering from a physical body to a suppressed head space. So it does create this kind of like a loop, like a Parivatan yoga. When it comes to Parivatan yoga, let's say Mars is in Cancer, but then the moon is either in Scorpio or in Aries. So Mars is in the sign of the moon in the sign of Mars. So there is an exchange of the sign, and that is what you call a Parivatan yoga. But if it involves the same house and also sign, it is called Mahaparivatan Yoga. There's two difference there. Now you get this point and how this Mahadasha will unfold in someone's life. So if someone who have this continuous momentums of bad Mahadasha, it can be a complex things to experience because the conditions is so suppressed and the circumstances is pretty much against the individual life. Feels like there is no going anywhere. It creates that scenario that if you're looking at this woman in the back, she just stood there and looking at these people walking, passing her, and how dystopian the energies of this city feels like. And that is what it feels when a two malefic mahadasha continuously connecting with each other. Of course, even in the most negative mahadasha, it doesn't mean that someone will always suffering for like years, because that's not how it is. But under dasha, bhukti, small periods of that, it does bring some relief. But we never know which planet who is good and who is bad. That alone need to be examined. But you get the idea of how these connections between the current mahadasha and the upcoming mahadasha creating this feedback loop of negative circumstances.